Curry first. Let me
go ahead. Steph first?
Yeah, I'm gonna upset this thing.
All right.
Me and Steph need to team up together.
I actually kind of think that's going to happen. I don't have any reason to believe that, but
last year they were picking against each other, right? So this year, from rivals to friends, let's be teammates this time.
Sure, and they make perfect sense together. Why not?
I mean, look, the biggest brain in basketball, with the greatest shooter the game's ever seen. You can't go wrong with that, right?
They're parts of the perfect player, at least.
Born in the same hospital or whatever in Akron, we got a connection.
That's right. So many connections there. All right. So you're filling in for the Greek Freak here. You get the next pick.
Well, I have no question. I'm going to go ahead and split Steph Curry up now. I'm going with his teammate, KD. So I need some extra scoring. So when I come down the court, I can kick it over to KD and let KD go to work. And why not have 2 7-footers running the show, starting off the All-Star weekend, getting the fans involved. And when in doubt, if I get double teamed, forget about the double team. This is All-Star game. Hey, KD, kick it to him on the wing. Let him take over and get the game started.
I like the length, and if defense were in play, at least for the first 46 minutes of the game, that could come in handy.
Yes.
I like bullies. And there's no better bully on this list than Joel Embiid. Give me the big fella. I need somebody to not only bully everybody else on the floor, but he might troll them while he's doing it.
Absolutely.
And
he might tweet during the game.
Yeah. From a skills perspective, has he not been a revelation this year just in how consistently unbelievable he's been on both ends of the floor, blocking shots, rebounding, scoring at a high clip? I love what we're seeing from Joel Embiid, and I think Steph and Joel Embiid, me being LeBron for this exercise.
Yeah.
That's a devastating trio. That's a big 3 for you.
Who's going to guard that guy?
Well, nobody.
I'm going to guard him. Giannis is going to guard him. John, he's going to guard.
Careful, little fella.
You know what I mean? Then what we're going to do is, then I'm going to ask for some help. And then I'm going to get some more scoring. I'm going to go into the kitchen and get James Harden. So it's time to get cooking. KD going to carry the first quarter. James Harden, I need you to come in and show everybody why your name is on the top of the MVP list.
And the VIP list.
And the VIP list, too. All of the above that. He's having a phenomenal year. This is the All-Star game, and why not have this guy on my team? Because, come on, LeBron, you know I'm not a great outside shooting, Giannis, so I need some more outside shooting.
Neither defenders nor velvet ropes stop the beard.
No. All right, but I tell you what does, Matt. What does slow down somebody like James Harden? And I know you're thinking it's Paul George.
Ooh.
It's a guy who can play both ends, who can score at an elite level.
Yeah. Also, who's having a 41 in an All-Star.
Exactly. Who's also having a monster season. A monster season. To me, Paul George has shown us that Kawhi, for as much as we talk about Kawhi, LeBron, Jimmy Butler, and some of these other guys, best two-way players in basketball, I'm not sure Paul George doesn't have the claim to that top spot based on this season only with what we've seen from him so far in Oklahoma City. To me, the guy who has really made the Thunder go this year.
Man, all right, you're up next.
You know what? I'm going to have to go two-way for two-way on this one. I got to go with the claw. I need a little more defense now. Since you in two-way, I'm going to go two-way with Kawhi Leonard because this year we all were wondering, is he ready to be that guy? And Nick Nurse and Masai Ujiri done an excellent job keeping him comfortable in Toronto. So offensively, he's shown us shoot the three, get to the free throw line. But when in doubt, the claw comes out, Matt. It's the All-Star game. It's the fourth quarter. I may need him to go guard somebody by himself.
This could come in handy the last 4 possessions of the game.
Exactly. Yes.
Maybe not as much.
Not the game with the last couple of
4 possessions.
Yes. Go get him, Claw. Go get him. Go get him.
All right, 2 players left.
I'm looking for some home cooking.
Uh-oh.
And, you know, if anybody's going to have the edge in that building, Kemba Walker. Why not take the guy who's going to get all that love?
I'm not mad.
Okay.
He's going to be the king of the city for the weekend. It's his show.
Right.
It's his show. And I think Kemba was one of those guys, 3D, that we were worried, would he get the credit for the season he's had, for how well he's played this year for a Charlotte team that's not been great, but at times has been really good and other times has struggled. Kemba has been a steadying force for the Hornets, and to me, this is kind of a crowning weekend for him in Charlotte to get the love he deserves from the fans and from around the league.
Yeah, well,
I know where you're going.
Uncle Drew, come on down, Uncle Drew. Come on, baby. Let's go ahead and nip that beard up a little bit. Come on out here. Let's get it going. To your point, we know Kemba's going to have his show, but Uncle Drew and Kyrie is one of those stages, the All-Star weekend. He loves to bring something extra, so it should be a fun matchup in the backcourt.
Yeah, so many people speculated, or still speculating, that LeBron might pick Kyrie just to mess with
everybody, right? Just to mess with everybody.
Would be really, really fun. Those are both great teams, obviously.
Yes.
I got to go with LeBron, who did a nice job here.
All right, LeBron. We got
Team
something
Brown.
for you. Got something for you.
Let's do it. But you know what? I love the matchups all the way around. Whoever they pick, it's going to be fantastic just to see all these guys mixed up and playing against each other.
Well, and the format showed last year is so much better.
Yes.
Like, this is so much fun.
Yeah, way more fun.
Yeah.
Way more.
All right, there you have it. We'll see how that holds up tomorrow night when you see the draft for real, including the reserves, of course, on TNT's coverage at 7 Eastern Time. The draft show ahead of the Thursday night doubleheader on TNT.
It is the continuation of the Giannis story, 2018 into 2019. Dominance and the roll. The Wizards, who have now shortened themselves to just the Wiz after some of their deals. That to come on a deadline-focused Game Time Live. The streak continues. Tick, 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 tick. 30-plus a night against the Kings, who are rolling off Bagley's best game. Everybody's the third for the Kings. There's 3 of us. 4 hours full trade deadline extravaganza right here, right now. Welcome to Sutter Studios. It is Game Time. Casey Stern, Steve Smith, and the czar, our coach, Mike Fratello. Smitty, coach. This is a big night.
I haven't worked with Coach in a long time.
I know. It's nice to be back with you.
I'm
Certainly
happy
is.
to be back.
The rumor is none of us have been traded yet. However, I heard that I think Greenberg's in the back waiting just in case. So it's
You got a no
nice
trade
working with you.
clause, so.
What do I look like? I have John Wall's contract? In any case, we got a lot to get to. Let's start with, we just saw Harden with the Rockets and the moves that they have made. As the deal within a deal, it's like the movie Inception with Chris Nolan, because we had a 3-way deal which eventually got shumped to Houston. We just saw the activity, Smitty, the game we did on Game Night Monday, that he's still bringing to the table with the Kings. How big is this for Houston?
You know, I think it's huge. I think they're trying to fill the void of Trevor Ariza. And not saying that Shumpert is Trevor Ariza, but I like the way he plays. He defends, he's tough-nosed, he's knocking down the shot. What I do like is he felt a little bit more freer offensively in Sacramento. In Cleveland, they turned him just to a catch-and-shoot 3-and-D guy. He was handling the basketball, making plays. I like this deal for the Houston Rockets.
And they bring versatility because you think Shumpert, you think about defense coach and his ability to knock down a shot if need be. And then you think of a Stauskas, who can certainly do that and then some. And all of a sudden the depth, which has been challenged as you watch Amon Shumpert shaking hands, knows that he is on the move-ish with Houston. Coach, you add Stauskas, you add Shumpert. When you look at the Rockets and we think about kind of where they were and where they are, how does this change your thoughts on Houston moving forward?
It's certainly 2 pieces that fit into what they need and what they're all about. Baldwin will hold off on that right now. He's part of the deal that happened. But Stauskas gives him another guy to get behind the three-point line. You have to respect his game from down deep. And then besides everything else, Shumpert gives him some toughness.
Yep.
A little bit of toughness. Digs in at the defensive end. If there's a ball on the floor, he'll get down on the floor and get after it. And I would think for him, this opportunity to join a team that he knows has a chance to go a long way, he'll take his level 1 step up.
You know, one of the great things, and we'll cover all of not just the trades, but the rumors. There are 2 huge point guards who could be moved in the next few hours. One from a winner, one maybe to a winner. We do know that Philadelphia clearly trying to make their own moves, and that was the big move of the day with the Clippers. And when you think of Tobias Harris, a guy who could have been an all-star feasibly, I think, Smitty, has the numbers. Really, it was the numbers of players ahead of him that kept him from being there. How do you feel now about the Big Four, which Philly says they intend to keep together after the season?
You know, I love Tobias Harris. I think his game can fit in with a lot of superstars because he's a catch-and-shoot guy. He doesn't need a lot of shots to be productive. And I love he's a locker room guy. And Tobias, everywhere he's been, you've never heard anybody talk anything bad about him. He's not a selfish guy. I'm looking at it right now as, how does Jimmy Butler feel? Now, does Jimmy still try to be an offensive guy? Tobias Harris is not the defender Jimmy Butler is, so Jimmy's going to get the assignment. But it is, how are they going to share the basketball between these 4? I love what they did. I even like Boban and Mike Scott. I think that's a big help as well.
Nothing against the already podcasted greatness of Harris and Boban, but Boban and Embiid, it's like the gatekeeper and the keymaster in Ghostbusters. We have to get these 2 together. Coach, when you think about Harris, one of the old school, the Elmers guys, those glue guys, where he seems to make everyone better because he can play in the flow. He doesn't necessarily need you to feed him. He will get his own. Offensively, he can run. He can play a little bit of defense. How about the fit with the big three of Harris into that group?
I think we've seen tremendous growth in his game this year with Doc Rivers. I think Doc has instilled more confidence, kind of an attitude like, hey, we're giving you the ball in crunch time. You got to make it happen for us. He certainly stepped up the challenge. I was at the Miami game when the night before he shot 1 of 9, I think, came right back, bounced back, started out the game 9 of 11 from the floor against Miami. So this young guy with tremendous growth, isn't one of the questions for us, how many of the big four will return after this season for Philadelphia? And their concern is obviously, can they keep the ones that are free agents at the end of the year? And then I've heard this more than just 5 or 6 times. Can Jimmy Butler go back to being the old Jimmy Butler? Okay, the Jimmy Butler that's going to allow the 4 players to play together, or is Jimmy going to try and set himself apart from them and be up above what everybody else is going to be able to contribute? I'm not sure that would work.
There's a culture level that you want improved. Harris fits that really anywhere, and also a toughness that he brings to the table. I think for the Clippers, really they're now one step away. That step would be tick-tock in the next few hours, and I was just talking to Griff off the air about this, that it's clear Gallo and that one contract that they now would like to move at some point, if they can, between now and the deadline to really put themselves in position. But, Smitty, this was a large step for them in that direction, feeling like they're ready for that. The players in return, who knows what Landry Shamet, has already been better than he was last year with the Shockers in his college at Wichita State. But how about what the Clippers do now, setting themselves up into this offseason?
Casey, you said it best. I mean, if they can move Gallo's contract, they're looking right now to maybe add 2 veterans, 2 big-time max contracts to go along with this group, with Doc Rivers, and really go for it. And it's going to be all about this summer. And let's face it, they're trying to go after Kawhi Leonard and others to be able to have this Clipper team even go to another level. And I think they're clearing space. I like what they did. It's just if they don't hit the home run this summer, then you look at which direction does the Clippers go to.
And I think they've got 2 pieces not making money that fit with the homers. When you think of Gilgeous-Alexander at the point, Montrezl Harrell, who has become, I think, a real winning player, but also somebody who's shown some offense. And now, Coach, Doc sets himself up to really go to work, to use L.A. There's that other team in L.A. that's also got money. The Knicks, it's still New York-ish. At the top, it's $74 million. But there's no guarantee. So now you're in a position where, for the Clippers, there's going to be an unknown regardless whether you get rid of Gallo's money and move up on that list or you stay at 59 in the space.
Let me talk as a fan and a friend of Doc Rivers, and then there's a business side to it, as we know. What a shame after all the hard work of putting this new group together and starting out the season at the top of the Western Conference there for a while, shocking a lot of people. Harris, the growth that he had made, and you saw a really nice chemistry. Lou Williams doing what Lou Williams does. And now all of a sudden, in a couple hours here, we're talking about a wipeout of a team that worked so hard to be in the playoffs the whole way. They're still there as of tonight in the 8th spot. But now what happens? And it's on the come. This is all on the come, we're saying. If.
Let's stay teams freeing up money. Even though they took back Hardaway, we know they gave up some, and we'll see buyouts with Jordan and with Matthews. But Dallas not done yet. You and I just did the Kings, and you sit there and you say, what about a 3? Well, how about adding a guy who fits into that 3 or 4 role? Harrison Barnes, Shams reporting, finalizing a deal to send him to the Kings. Now, we don't know what it's. Zach Randolph and Justin Jackson, North Carolina legend, going on his way to Mavs. Zebo expiring, Jackson not making much money. Let's take both sides. Let's start from the Kings side because we're looking playoff picture. Look at what Fox and Hield have built, the way Cauley Stein has played, the development of Bagley, Harry Giles, and now to throw a Barnes in there. They become even more interesting, don't they, when you sit there and you look bottom couple of spots of that playoff picture.
Casey, you said it best. I look at it, the backcourt is solidified. I love what they've been doing, Buddy Hield, and also, what they've been doing with Fox. And then I love Cauley Stein. I love Bagley. I love Giles. And I think the missing spot was solidifying that 3 spot. They've had a lot of guys play that, but was there a guy that could score, that could run, that could defend, that has some experience? And I think Harrison Barnes fills that. Then I think for Dallas, they're looking at we're going another direction. We love Harrison Barnes, but I think they're looking for a bona fide shooter. Not saying it will be Justin Jackson, but I think they'll give him a chance to see what he has, and they'll still go after somebody that could be a 3. Because I think it's right now is you need spacers for Porzingis and also Luka Doncic, and I think that's where the Dallas Mavericks are looking for.
$20+ million addition freed up. So they have Hardaway's money. We know about that. Courtney Lee, who also double digits. So they did take some on. But now to free up Barnes, and you think about Porzingis, who the rumor, at least from his end, 1 year, right? So not going to be an expenditure, at least, coach, for this coming season. Dallas is going to have some money, and you tell me, you guys, I mean, I would think pretty attractive for some free agents to sit there. I got Rick Carlisle, and I've got Porzingis and Doncic, who you know, especially if you're a shooter, is a guy who's going to facilitate and be willing to be unselfish for you.
And they've got an owner who they know will spend money, wants to build a championship, but if not, they can go on TV with him and get in the Shark Tank, okay, for a while. But when you think about Harrison Barnes, another example of a young guy who came out of college at a young age, winds up at Golden State, and he was the disappearing Barnes when the playoffs came. And as a result, he had an opportunity to go to Dallas, and during Dallas's rebuilding period, he had a chance to grow and develop into a pretty nice player. Are they concerned about losing the small forward? No, because if you don't want to play Doncic at the 2, you play him at the 3. Or either way, you got a pretty good
Or
player
the 4,
there.
where they've done 2.
You can. Okay, so I think what they did makes a lot of sense for them.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see kind of where they go from a point guard standpoint.
Yes.
For me, that's the big decision, because you don't have to go prototypical as if that exists anymore anyway, because Doncic with the handling. So they can go for the 2019 NBA scoring point guard type. There are some of those who are out there on the market.
Drew Holiday.
Drew Holiday is an interesting guy.
I love him being a great fit with Doncic, just because he can play with the basketball, without, and he can defend.